Hello friends, how you doing? Day 220, this magnificent Friday night. Hope you're all having a great start to your weekend. What did you all get up to? I ended up staying at home and cooking. Basically all day, really. But however, while I was cooking tonight, I was able to listen in on a conscious partner, one of their events called Detachment Style. It's been a while since I've attended one or hosted one, so it was actually nice to kind of just hear the conversation again and kind of see how everything's run. But anyway, I wanted to come in today and share with you again what I'm reading. Just a reminder, it is John Maxwell's book, The 17 Essential Qualities of a Team Player. Today is quality number 12. It's about being prepared. And so he starts off with a quote, "Preparation can mean the difference between winning and losing." Okay, that's from John Maxwell. And it's better to prepare than to repair. And that quote reminds me of the other quote, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so I really believe that. I believe 100% in preventing illnesses or just negative or bad things. Rather than having to deal with fixing the problem later. You know, that can be in your health, right? Like, do you work out? Do you take vitamins? Do you eat healthy? Or maybe in relationships, right? Are you developing emotional tools? Heck, a lot of the diseases nowadays, the pandemics, a lot of the flu, swine flu, avian flu, coronavirus, right? All of them are originated from animals, eating animals. And so, we can prevent it by, obviously it's not going to happen, but not eating animals. But just something for you to think about. We can also eat less, right? Start with meatless Monday or something, right? But, I definitely believe in preparing rather than repairing. And so in this chapter, it talks about a man who fought in the war, World War I, I think, and he was given many medals. No one, including himself, would ever have thought that he would be in line to actually win a medal. However, it was a skill that he had developed while he was on the farm. There wasn't a lot to do, obviously, but he had a gun and he was able to just develop that sharpshooting, that skill. And so, as he developed it, when time came for him to enlist in the war, he was drafted and he had to go fight the war. They were ambushed, and because of his skill, he killed 8 soldiers with 8 shots, 8 bullets. And he did the same with the next 7. And because of that, he was able to help his side, I believe it's the U.S., win so many more battles during, I believe it's the First World War. And so, but he didn't know what the skill was going to be used for, right? He just honed that skill and it prepared him for a very important point in his life, which obviously altered history. And so, if you plug into some of my lives, right, I'm always encouraging people to just work on yourself, right? Prepare yourself for the opportunities that would inevitably come your way so that you can have success in it, right? Another quote is success, or equation is success equals opportunity and preparedness meeting, right? So opportunities will arise. The question is, are you prepared? Right, so as a personal example, the company that I operate right now is Casino Royale Rentals in Vancouver, right? But guess what? How did I get to this point? I was being prepared from previous events in my life, but I didn't know at the time. And so, in my late 20s, I started running events, collaborating with other entrepreneurs. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was learning a skill. And then 2012 or so, I ended up working at the casino as a dealer. But I was only there for 2 months. However, I learned how to be a professional dealer. But during that 2 months, I was able to learn how to actually deal professionally. And on top of that, I was able to learn how to actually teach others, which now I find people with great attitudes and I teach them how to deal the games, and they work for me, and I build the team that way. But I prepared myself for the opportunity that inevitably came. And so my question to you is, what are you preparing for? What skill are you honing right now? Because you never know when it'll serve you in the future, right? And of course, if you're happy with your life and you're going to be happy for the rest of your life, then you don't have to work on anything. It's all good, right? This is only for people who want to create a different life and a better life for themselves. That's all it is, right? If you're happy with where you're at, then perfect. All right. A couple of things that John talks about here in the chapter. Number one, assessment, right? You got to know where you're at so that you know what direction to start. And then number two is alignment, right? You got to know where you're going so that you can head in the right direction, right? You can't just work hard. You have to do the right work so that you're heading in the right direction. Number three is attitude. He talks about lazy people rarely prepare. Diligent people do. And so, but he talks about here, one area that the diligent people may neglect is their attitude, right? So attitude is always so important, right? It's the mental side. It's the mindset you have. Do you have a winning mindset? Do you have a positive mindset, right? Do you have a success mindset? Or do you have scarcity? Do you have lack? Or are you fearful? Okay? And the last one is, of course, action. You need to take action to create anything in your life. Okay? He talks about a few more things here, but at the end of the day, friends, okay, one last quote I'll quote from the chapter. You can claim to be surprised once. After that, you're unprepared. And so, we never know what life's going to throw in our way, right? But when life happens, which it inevitably does, are you prepared? Have you built yourself, your mental capacity, your emotional capacity to deal with life when it hits, right? Because you never know what's going to hit, but it will hit. Just think about it. Has crap or stuff happened in your life ever? If you're breathing and you're an adult, most likely something has happened, right? How did you deal with it, right? How traumatic was it? If you haven't been preparing, it's probably very traumatic. But if you've been preparing, going through stuff, stretching yourself, getting outside of your comfort zone, guess what? That event probably was not as traumatic as it could have been. And so, those are just some points about being prepared. Again, right? That's true in every area, even finances, right? Do you have a budget? If you don't have a budget, you might get yourself in a little bit of trouble. But but let's say you're not in a good situation financially, guess what? You can actually change the direction and get yourself in a good situation. How? By learning, by growing, by preparing to be successful financially. And so that's in any area. Okay, so that's my message to you, my friends. There's lots of tools and resources out there, podcasts, mentors, coaches, books, so many things. But the biggest thing, again, you need to take action. Just take one step at a time. Just become 1% better. It's not about taking a huge leap. Just work on one thing every single day, and eventually, when life hits, you'll be much better prepared. Anyway, hope you're having a great start to your weekend. I'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao.